Hi, my name is Payden Hall, and I am the host for the Coffee Girl podcast. Thanks for watching this. I hope you're as excited to watch this as I am to discuss the upcoming topic. But before we discuss today's topic, which is going to be authenticity, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself and explain the purpose behind the podcast as well as the story behind the name. Like I said, my name is Payden, and I am a college student. I'm about to finish my sophomore year. I was raised in Nashville. I am the fourth of 5 children, and I was blessed to have a solid Christian upbringing. And this provides me with a solid foundation to build on, but at the same time, it hasn't isolated me from not facing the temptations and the trials that other young people face. So, because I do have those principles that have been instilled in me by my faith, but I also encounter the same things that other young women encounter, I would like to be an ally and someone who can discuss the topics that everyone is, wondering about, but few people are actually willing to discuss. So that is the purpose behind the Coffee Girl podcast. And the name is, I'm hoping to convey the same kind of authentic feel that we would have as if you and I were just having a conversation. 2 girls talking over a cup of coffee. And I happen to be a coffeeholic. So those are the 2 reasons behind the name for the Coffee Girl podcast. So let's get started on today's topic, which is authenticity. Authenticity, it's kind of a buzzword right now. You hear it a lot on social media, you hear it a lot in book titles and just daily conversation. So since it's so widely discussed, I would like to narrow it down by reading the definition. And that is not false or copied, it's genuine, it's real, it's pretty easy to understand. And whenever I am talking about authenticity, I am talking about not being afraid to share with someone who you really are as a person. I'm not talking about just saying every unfiltered thought that comes into your head. I remember earlier this summer, I went into an interview for a summer position, and I had just moved back from college that day. So I was thinking packing and boxes, and I walk into my future or potential employer's office, and she has boxes strewn all over her office. And I ask her if she has just moved. Well, no, she hadn't just moved, but she just likes to keep her office, I guess, in a messy way. So anyway, when I'm talking about being authentic, I'm not talking about the kind of authenticity that I displayed in the interview. I'm talking about the kind of authenticity that people display in all 3 areas of their lives. And every person, just the way we're created, we have 3 different aspects. We have the public, and that's who we are when we're out, amongst strangers, or who we are when we're talking to a cashier or a waiter. And there is private, and that's who we are with our friends and with our family. And then there's personal, and that's who we are to just by ourselves and who we are in relationship to God. So authenticity is whenever you take the same values and you enact them through all areas of your life. Authenticity is not something you see in today's culture. In fact, you see the opposite of that, and that is artificiality. And people feed off of portraying these false images of themselves. Social media is no help. I think I don't have to explain this in great detail. You have pictures on Instagram and people are giving an edited version of themselves. They feel this constant need to put the best image of themselves forward, and they'll guard it. And whenever they guard it, they aren't being authentic because they don't want people to see them for their flaws or for their misdeeds, or because everyone messes up, but no one wants to admit that they mess up. So we have the choice to be authentic or the choice to be artificial. And I think a good question when deciding which one we want to be is to ask, why should we be authentic? It's so much safer to be artificial and to keep our flaws and our hidden weaknesses, if you will, close to us where no one can really see them. Well, as a Christian, I have an obligation, I have a responsibility, but I also have a freedom to be authentic. And I am going to read from 2 Corinthians 12, 9 through 10. And he said to me, this is Jesus talking, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." So in Christianity, there's no room for artificiality. We have the calling to live as Christ lived, but we're human, so there's no way we're going to do that all of the time. So here Paul is saying, when I am weak, then I am strong, because we're dependent on Christ. So, and I mentioned earlier when I said that we have the obligation and the responsibility, but we also have the freedom. And the freedom of being authentic is not something people talk about a lot. So what I'm talking about when I'm mentioning the freedom is because we don't have to be concerned about what people think of us. We have to be aware of who we are before God. And there is a freedom that comes whenever you hand your life, flaws and all, over to Jesus Christ and says, "Here, take me as I am and mold me into who you want me to be." Because then you're only concerned with what God thinks of you. You're not concerned about what your peers think of you. So I'm not going to be worried about who people or what people think of me in my latest picture on Instagram or on Facebook, or I don't feel the need to go do something because, oh, I could take a picture of that and my friends would think that I'm really adventurous. So if or when we decide to take authenticity and claim it for our own, the best way to practically apply that in our daily lives is to take what we learn about God and the life of Jesus Christ and to try and live out those principles in every aspect of our lives. The three that I mentioned earlier: who we are in public, who we are in private, and who we are in our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So that is what I have on authenticity today. Thank you for watching this first video. I'm excited for next time. If you have any thoughts or questions, you can email me at coffeegirlthoughts@gmail.com, and thoughts is spelled THOTS. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.